I left my controlling fiancée after she demanded I put her family before mine. Now she's homeless, disowned by her mom, and begging me to take her back. My 28-year-old male fiancé, 29-year-old female, wants me to put her family before mine, even at the expense of my family's health. Throwaway as my work friends are on my main and they don't know this is going on. Also, obligatory that this is on mobile, so spelling and grammar will be poo. This is a long one, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible.
I, a 28-year-old male, got engaged to my partner of 7 years, T, a 29-year-old female, in May.
Both sides of our family were really happy about this, and we had a big family meal 2 weeks after getting engaged. Her sister lives 250 miles away and couldn't get here for that meal, so we decided to have a meal just for her family in late June when her sister would be back for the weekend. This weekend was arranged long before we got engaged, so she wasn't back just for the meal. Earlier this year, my brother Jay, 32 male, got a serious eye infection that very quickly turned into an ulcer, which scarred his cornea and left it at high risk of perforation. He needed a corneal graft, but his surgeon was away for 4 weeks, so he was going to have to wait until the surgeon got back to have it. However, his eye didn't hold, and it perforated the day I was supposed to be going to the family meal with T's sister. Jay's husband was at work and had his phone turned off, and our dad was away with our stepmom. So when Jay called me to let me know what was happening, I knew he would be at the hospital on his own. I immediately talked to my boss, and he let me go early so Jay wasn't on his own. I texted T to let her know what was going on, and she texted me back to send Jay her love and to remind me about the meal that night. I ignored the comment about the meal, as it was the last thing on my mind. Once I got to the hospital, I was taken back into a room where Jay was, to be greeted by 3 doctors and 2 nurses rushing around trying to help him. I was then informed that he needed to have an emergency operation to have his eye glued or else he would lose it. The problem was that they didn't have a surgeon at that hospital who could do it, and he needed to go to another hospital an hour and a half away. They asked if he would need transportation or if I could take him. I said I would take him. Once we got to the other hospital, we were told that he would be having the operation at 5:30 p.m. I knew then that I wouldn't make the dinner and texted T to let her know. She flipped out and basically told me to leave Jay at the hospital and have his husband pick him up after the operation was done. At this point, I still hadn't been able to get a hold of Jay's husband. I told her it wasn't going to happen and that she was out of order to even ask me to do that. I then texted her mom and told her what was going on. She was really supportive and told me to stay with Jay and let her know how the operation goes. The dinner can be rescheduled, Jay's health can't. I also spoke with her sister, who was equally as understanding. I stayed with Jay as operation was a success, and I got him back home about 9 p.m. His husband had ordered some Chinese and offered me some, which I happily accepted as I hadn't eaten since lunch. With that said, I didn't get home till about 11 p.m., and T was already asleep. She was very short with me for days after, and we ended up having a huge fight where she told me that I should have put her sister and family before Jay. She said she was embarrassed going to the meal without me. I responded that I was embarrassed she thought I would put a meal before my brother's health. This led to another week of awkwardness between us before we finally sat down and sorted it out. Or so I thought. 8 weeks ago, Jay got his graft, and so far, everything is going really well with it. On Saturday, her sister was here, so we went out for dinner with her family. Her family were all asking about how Jay was doing, and I showed them a picture of the stitches in his eye. I thought that everything had gone really well until we got home, and T got really angry, saying that I shouldn't have brought up Jay's health issues and I shouldn't have shown them the picture. I argued that they'd asked about him and asked to see the picture. It ended with her telling me that I needed to put her and her family before Jay or else we weren't going to work. She said her family would come before mine once we were married, so I should get used to it. I went upstairs and packed a bag. I am now at my dad's house, and she has been bombarding me with texts and calls since I left. I do love her, but I will never put her family above my own family's health. I feel like she's expecting me to spend every holiday with her family and put their wants above my family's needs, which won't happen.